Okay, so we have the scandal going on up in the Senate, and we have a senator who's resigning, and we have a new senator from Minnesota. That's right, that's been assigned to take his place. And so I wanted to bring this up because more male bashing right in your face, more bullshit in your face, more division, and more lies. That's right, more propaganda. That's what's going on here, and that's exactly what I see. Now I understand it's him being up there in the White House or up there in D.C. as a senator. We understand the majority of all our politicians are liars. That's right, and that's not a gender issue. Female and male alike. Today's society is absolutely filled full of liars. That's right, absolutely filled full of liars. And just about everybody wants to lie, and nobody wants to be lied to. Which, of course, absolutely makes no sense at all because it can't be that way. You can't have a world full of liars that nobody wants to be lied to. It's perfectly normal to lie, but let's not lie to me, right? BS. That just shows how insane our world really is. But with that being said, I'm going to show you the senator who's resigning, and I'm going to do this in steps, and I'm going to say a few things as we go, so watch out.
Over the last few weeks, a number of women have come forward to talk about how they felt my actions had affected them. I was shocked. I was upset. But in responding to their claims, I also wanted to be respectful of that broader conversation, because all women deserve to be heard and their experiences taken seriously.
I agree. All women do deserve to be heard and their experiences taken seriously. But don't all men deserve to be heard and their experiences taken seriously? From what I see in today's society, that's called a double standard. Women want to be heard, they want their experiences to be taken seriously, but you all want to ignore anything a guy has to say. He's not to be heard and he's not to be taken seriously. Isn't that the reality? Sure is, because you play double standards, don't you?
I think that was the right thing to do. I also think it gave some people the false impression that I was admitting to doing things that, in fact, I haven't done. Some of the allegations against me are simply not true. Others I remember very differently.
Okay, so he resigns. You're going to say that's an admission of guilt. No. In today's society, when it comes to the double standards that's been in place in our society, when it comes to the division of men and women, if you look around you, I want you to look for domestic abuse shelters for men. You might find 2 in the entire United States. Now I want you to look for domestic shelters for women. Hundreds. No lie, hundreds. Look for the real truth. You'll find out that there's as many women abusing men as there is men abusing women. Look for the truth. You'll find out the majority of domestic abuse amongst men and women is instigated by the female. That's right. That's not a lie. That's the majority. Now you listen to what he said. He knows some of the accusations just absolutely isn't true. We live in a world full of liars. And if these women see an opportunity to move up the line, they're not going to hesitate to make up a lie. I see it all the time. I see women lie, make shit up, just pull it out their anal. I also see men do the same thing. So are these women credible? No, they're not. And if they're up there in the Senate making these accusations, they're no more credible than he is. Was any of you there to see what took place? I wasn't there. Was you? Chances are you wasn't. That's right. To see actually what took place. So how do you know he's lying? You said, well, because he resigned, that's an admission of guilt. No, no, it isn't. Because you say it is? No, it isn't. Maybe he don't want to be attacked by all the sexist BS that we see in this country. After all, it was wrote into the law that a man can never be a victim of domestic abuse. That's right, cannot be a victim. After all, it was taught from the time he was a child that a boy is to not hit a girl. After all, Joe Biden got up there and said there's no excuse to ever hit a woman. No excuse at all. Did you ever hear anything about the woman hitting the guy? Oh, well, she's weaker, right? She's weaker, right? So she took a baseball bat and clubbed you outside the head. She's weaker, huh? She shot and killed you. She's weaker, huh? Get off your sexist BS. For one, in the school system, it should never have been taught that a boy don't hit a girl. Should have been taught that nobody hits nobody. Gender should have never been brought into it. So see, the boy's been sexually discriminated against by our society since the time he was born. All based on the fact he's got a penis in it. That's correct. What can I say? Well, let's go on.
You know, an important part of the conversation we've been having the last few months has been about how men abuse their power and privilege to hurt women.
How men abuse their power and privilege to hurt women. That's a clear double standard. How men, that's right, more male bashing, how men abuse their power and authority to hurt women. What about all the women who abuse their gender to hurt men? Oh, that's right. We turn our back and look the other way, don't we? That's correct. Oh, you don't believe me? Let's take a look at the reality. When's the last time you heard a woman be told to woman up? Come on. Any takers? When's the last time you heard it? A woman's to woman up. Oh, that's right. You never hear that, do you? It's always the man's supposed to man up. That's right. When's the last time you heard that the woman should change? She should make some changes to improve herself if she would like to have a guy in her life. Oh, that's right. That's another double standard. It's not heard, is it? When's the last time you heard a woman being called a loser? Come on. I'm being dead serious. When's the last time you heard a woman be called a loser? Oh, one more time. You don't hear it, do you? No, you don't. But you always hear it when it's directed to a man, don't you? That's correct. See, that's just 3 examples, and I could go with a whole list of them that just keeps going on and on and on. See, so when you want to bring up the BS, the lie, the BS, the lie that men abuse their power and position to hurt women, that's complete hogwash. While you turn your back to all the feminist women who have attacked men over and over and over, the feminist women who's invaded men's meetings to steer drama, all of the abuse laid on to men by women on a regular basis, that you turn your back to. When it comes to men hitting women and women hitting men, they've done some really great social experiments to prove it without a shadow of a doubt. When a woman's beating on a man in public, you all walk by, you smirk, and some of you ladies throw your fist up and you say, "Go, girl, go!" Encouraging the abuse onto the man. He must have deserved it for some reason. He's a man. He deserved it regardless because he has a dick between his legs. So that means he deserved it. And then when you turn it around, 100 people come to the girl's rescue immediately. This woman always has somebody to her protection when the guy's abusing her. But when she's abusing him, You all turn your back. More double standards right in their face. You know, Hollywood, the media, the commercials, painting guys out to be stupid idiots that couldn't do anything right, and women out to be so smart and intelligent. Women are so nourishing and loving to their children, and the guys always molest their children. Well, here, I'll give you a double standard. Well, then that means the women always kill their children, right? Well, the guys are having sex with the children, the women are busy killing their kids. You know, when she drove her vehicle into the lake, left her kids strapped in the car to drown and die. And I could give you 100,000 other examples of that. But that's because in our society, what do? We report one half of a story. When a woman and man commit the exact same crime, the man gets 10 to 20 behind bars, the woman gets a slap in the hand for the exact same crime. He goes to prison, she goes home. Okay, even the school teacher that got caught molesting served a couple of years behind bars, got out to do it again. When the guy got caught molesting, he went to prison. He didn't serve a couple of years, maybe 10 years, 15 years. She served a couple. I can go on and on and on with the list, but it's deliberately done. It's done by these people at the top, your government, your bankers, your corporations. It's deliberately done to divide the genders. What do you think feminism was about? To get the women out of the home into the workplace so that they could have the other half of the population's money from working, and to divide up the genders and break up the family unit. That's what it's always been about, to divide the genders. What does that do for us? It causes population reduction, which they want, and it keeps us from standing together because we're all divided fighting one another. Isn't that correct? You know that's correct. So do you see the hypocrisy here? Here, I'll show you some more hypocrisy.
And Minnesota is often named one of the best states for women. Yet even here, women still earn less than men, and women of color and Native American women have even fewer opportunities.
And so what you heard right there was more propaganda. Yeah, that's the woman who's taken the senator's place. That's right. She's his replacement. So, that was up on TV this morning as the governor made the announcement. She got up and gave her speech. And she lied to you and said, even here in Minnesota, and she played the women victim role, that the women don't make as much as the men. Since the outsourcing of the jobs, if you take a look around you, you'll find there's a whole bunch of women GMs across our country in really good positions, making more money than their husbands. That's right, no lie. My last job, industrial factory, there was a bunch of women who worked there, along with men. And guess what? Their hourly wage was the same as everybody else's. Their raises was just as much as everybody else's. There was no discrimination in wages at all. Not whatsoever. And I'm in Minnesota. She just fed you a lie. She just openly lied to you. And when she's talking to women of color or native, blah, 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 BS. Same scenario. That's not happening. That's phony. That's baloney. That's propaganda. That's a lie. Because, see, this is what happens with power and greed. There is no end. Once you get the virus that attacked the human brain, it's over with. There is no end. Do you think, let's look at the last election. The gal that's taking the place was right alongside Hillary. Sure was. I've seen some footage of her right there with Hillary. She's working right with a known criminal. Do you think she's accidentally in the position she's in? No, she's not. Which means she's just as bad of a lying big as all the rest of the politicians. And that's not a gender issue. Because that's men and women alike. She sure is. She want to talk about the wage gap, huh? That don't exist? Why don't you check out her wages compared to her husband's? Oh, she wouldn't want you to do that, right? Of course she wouldn't. Because she'd get caught in her lie. That's propaganda.
I am proud that during my time in the Senate, I have used my power to be a champion of women, and that I have earned a reputation as someone who respects the women I work alongside every day. I know there's been a very different picture of me painted over the last few weeks, but I know who I really am.
Yep, he's proud that he's been a champion for women's rights. He's supported women, been over for women. He's proud of that double standard. He's so proud that he did right upon the women. We'll see. And now he's resigning for what? Oh, and what was the accusations and who by? Oh, that's right. That was his thank you from the women that he proudly supported, that he proudly bent over for. That's right. Think about it. He's so proud that he stood by women and did the right thing for women, that he didn't abuse his power by using his power to hurt women. But then women will go ahead and abuse their power to hurt men. Who's he? Oh, that's right, he's a guy. So these women came forward and said, what? Oh, that's right. That was women thanking him for standing by them. That's right. That's the thanks you get, isn't it? Oh, it sure is. Because, see, I've seen it so many times. Because of double standards, because of simps and white knights, and because of pieces of trash like Biden and United Nations, who puts policies in place that places women over the top of men on a regular basis. And because of all the programming and social conditioning and engineering to divide the men and women, the guy can bend over backwards and do everything. Everything. And you'll see the example in your face. The gratitude, the appreciation you'll get in return from the women for doing all this for them is none at all. They don't care. You know why? Because they've been so brainwashed that they actually believe you owe it to them. All based on your gender. That you owe this to them anyhow. That it's perfectly normal because you owe it to them anyhow. And they can abuse you all you want. All they want. As a guy, they can abuse you over and over and over. That's acceptable. That's normal behavior. They're only being normal. Since they can abuse their power and abuse you as a female. You just can't repay the favor without being a woman hater. Even though they're openly, blatantly man haters right in your face. But that's acceptable, right? That's acceptable behavior? No, it's not. It's sick. It's disgusting. So there he is, right there telling you how he's proud that he stood by women. But yet, who is it that's launching the accusations against him? The very people he's proud he stood by. So there's his thanks. I see this all the time. I see guys bend over backwards, break their butt, and do everything possible to please that woman. You know what her thanks is? Her thanks most of the time is to take you to divorce court, steal your children, your house, and your money from you, and leave you homeless on the street. That's what her thanks is. You know what her thanks is for you doing all that stuff for her over and over and over? You know, the example is, and I've seen it, I've lived it. You do 2,000 things for the woman this year. She done one thing for you this year. She's going to remind you for the next 20 years about the one thing she done for you. And the 2,000 things you done for her, she blows that off and disregards it because she actually believes that you, as a man, owe that to her. You don't owe her shit. End of story. That is division to divide the genders. And it has done a wonderful job. You can see what his thanks was right now, can't you? You can tell what his thanks was. He had accusations launched against him that he knows is not true. That's right. That was his thanks from these women. He had other accusations launched against him that he knows it didn't happen that way. They manipulated it, flipped the story upside down is what they did. Because isn't that what our world does nowadays? Everybody's lying and flipping everything upside down. The villain's actually trying to play the victim role too. The villain, whether it's male or female, both genders are doing this. Both genders are doing this. You're the perpetrator. You do the crime against somebody. And then the somebody you did the crime against, you tell the whole world they done the crime to you and try to play the victim role when you're the one done the crime to them. I watch it happen all the time, and it's happening from both genders, not just one. That's how sick our world really is. But here's the division right in your face. So I'm going to end this video off with showing you the rest of this guy's speech. That's pretty much what I had to say, because the division is openly in your face. Just disgusts me. It really does.
Serving in the United States Senate has been the great honor of my life. I know in my heart that nothing I have done as a senator, nothing, has brought this honor on this institution. And I am confident that the Ethics Committee would agree. Nevertheless, today I am announcing that in the coming weeks, I will be resigning as a member of the United States Senate. I, of all people, am aware that there is some irony in the fact that I am leaving while a man who has bragged on tape about his history of sexual assault sits in the Oval Office, and a man who has repeatedly preyed on young girls campaigns for the Senate with the full support of his party. But this decision is not about me. It's about the people of Minnesota. It's become clear that I can't both pursue the Ethics Committee process and at the same time remain an effective senator for them. Let me be clear. I may be resigning my seat, but I am not giving up my voice. I will continue to stand up for the things I believe in as a citizen and as an activist. But Minnesotans deserve a senator who can focus with all her energy on addressing the challenges they face every day.